everyone, it's Louise Green, and today we are going to dispel any intimidation we might have with the squat rack. It can be pretty intimidating when you walk into a gym and you see this thing there that people are lifting really heavy weight on and you don't know how to use it. It can be really hard to approach it and really get into your workout. So today on this video, we are going to go through every aspect of the squat rack and show you some ways in how you can get started. So the squat rack that I have in my home is just a 2-pillar rack. A lot of the squat racks you'll find in gyms are in a box, and they still have the same kind of concept of how to use and lift from. So just to differentiate, if you walk into the gym after this video and you're like, oh, that's a box and that's not what I was shown on this video, it is actually the same concept. This is just kind of the lighter weight home edition. So let's get started. Let's talk about the bar for a second. The bar you will be lifting, whether you just lift the bar or you load some plates on, the bar alone is 45 pounds. So what I recommend is that people are very confident that they can squat 45 pounds before they even approach a squat rack. So one of the ways that you can test that out before you go to the squat rack and lift it and realize mid-lift that I can't do this is to go with dumbbells. And so really start to work the squat with the dumbbells first. And then over time, when you've got 2 20s in your hand and you're able to do that with a fair amount of ease, that is when you want to graduate up to a squat rack. Finding out that it's too heavy mid-lift is no fun. So keep that in mind. Let's talk about how to set it up properly and safely. So if I were using a box squat rack, there would be rails down here that I would just then remove my 45-pound bar and rest it there while I adjust the J-cups. I don't have the box, so I'm going to put this onto the ground, and these are called the J-cups. These are things that hold the rack in place. So in order to get it to where you want it for your specific height, this is going to be different for everyone. You want it just below shoulder height. So this one is probably 1 or 2 notches up a little bit too high for me if I'm going to back squat. So I'm going to turn it to its side. Now some of these vary, but it's got a little pin here that will go into these holes that can adjust the height for you. So this one probably is right for me. It is just below my shoulder height. So I'm going to make sure that the other side matches as well. 1 second. Okay, now that my J-cups are set, I'm going to go back. If I were in a box squat, I would lift it up. Now I'm going to go down to the ground, lift this up, and put it onto my rack. So now that my bar is in place, I can get in perfectly underneath and rest it on my shoulder so that I can safely return if anything becomes too strenuous for me. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to lift it off of the bar. There are definitely on Olympic bars different grip spots. You want to make sure that your hands are even, it's on your back, and then you can safely walk away and go into your squat. And then easily return back into position. So now let's talk about loading it up. Now you can safely assume that you can squat 45 pounds with just the bar. That has become easy for you. You can now start to load it up. So here I have a plate. Plates will be ranging in the gym from 10 all the way up to heavy 45 pound, 50 pounds. So just remember that when you're loading it, I know this seems very logical, but I'm gonna say it. When you load it on either end, you're adding 20 pounds of weight. So we're gonna put it onto the end of the rack, onto the bar rather, and then we're gonna take one of these clips and you're gonna bring it into a closed grip so that it opens up for you. And you're gonna clip your plate on, and that's so that when you're lifting, the plate doesn't fall off to the side. So now you've loaded 10 pounds, you're gonna go to the other side, load 10 pounds. What I would normally do in that situation is do a little test to make sure before you move away from the rack that you're comfortable with that weight, and then you can move away and get into your squat. It's always good when you're lifting heavy weights to lift with someone so that they can see your technique and they can be there to spot you if anything were to go wrong. If you're ever unsure about using the squat rack, often other gym goers that are on the squat rack will be happy to help you, or go to the gym and ask for some help with the assistance of getting the plates on and moving away and doing your squat. You always want to make sure that you're doing it safely, because honestly, if this is too heavy or becomes a form issue where you're not able to lift it, it can become a real disaster. So really think about safety. I just want to go over in summary. Remembering that the bar is 45 pounds, so remember to build your strength in dumbbells before you move here. Remembering that these need to be adjusted, and sometimes I can even be lazy and like, oh, it's good enough, but just remember that it really does make a difference for the way that your shoulders are hinged and the way that you're able to return it safely to the rack. So really make sure that these are adjusted appropriately. And then when you're loading plates, always use the clip. Sometimes people don't, and that can also be disastrous. And then ask for help and assistance, and do a little test raise up before you move away from the rack to make sure you stay safe. The squat rack is an amazing tool to build strength, especially in the legs. I'm gonna do more squat rack tutorials in how to deadlift, bring these down on the lower part of the rack. That will be coming soon, but for now, don't be intimidated. If you're past the 20-pound lift in the dumbbells, let's head to the squat rack. If you like this video and you're looking for more tutorials on Big Fit Girl Fitness, how to get going in the gym, subscribe to my channel below.